Hi everyone, welcome to your channel Moments from History. I hope each and every one of you is doing well. You probably already understood the topic of the video from the thumbnail, so without wasting time, let's get started. If we were to choose only a few individuals who changed the course of human history the most, it would not be an easy task. History is full of kings, scientists, religious leaders, inventors, and conquerors, each of whom influenced the fate of the world in their own way. However, some names are so prominent that even after centuries, we can still see their footprints in our daily lives. From the beliefs we hold, to the science through which we understand the world, and even the paper, books, and devices on which you are reading this text. In this video we explore a list that many consider one of the most controversial yet influential rankings of the most important figures in history. In this list, individuals are chosen based on their level of impact on human history, not on whether they were good or bad, nor on whether we personally admire or criticize them. The main criterion is one thing, that their presence fundamentally altered the course of history. Next, we will review the names of 10 people, from great prophets and ancient philosophers to scientists and inventors who shaped the modern world. For each one, we briefly talk about their life, their most important contributions, and the impact they had on today's world. Muhammad emerged in the 7th century CE, first in Mecca and later in Medina, within a deeply tribal, class-based and polytheistic society. Arabian society at that time had neither a strong central government nor a comprehensive legal system. A person's identity was largely defined by their tribe, and violent conflicts between tribes made security extremely fragile. Under such conditions, the message of monotheism, justice, individual responsibility, and the equality of believers before God represented a major intellectual and social transformation. With the formation of the Medina community, Islam went beyond the stage of a purely individual call and took shape as a religious, social, and political system. Laws governing trade, family life, war and peace and social relations were established, and fragmented tribes were brought together within a single unified community. In the centuries that followed, this movement led to the foundation of a vast civilization that played a major role in human history in science, philosophy, art, architecture, and law. From Baghdad and Cordoba to Samarkand and Cairo, the intellectual and cultural legacy of the civilization continues to shape the lives of hundreds of millions of people. For this reason, when discussing the most influential individuals in history, the name of Muhammad appears at the top of many lists not only because of his religious role, but also because of his impact on transforming the social, legal, and civilizational structures of a large part of the world. Isaac Newton entered the scene in the late 17th century, at a time when Europe was undergoing profound scientific and intellectual transformations. Before him, many natural phenomena were explained either through long-standing Aristotelian traditions or through a loose mix of observation and speculation. With his exceptionally precise and meticulous mindset, Newton built a bridge between experiment, mathematics, and physical intuition, one that remained the model for science for centuries. He formulated the 3 laws of motion and the law of universal gravitation, and demonstrated that the same force pulling an apple toward the ground also governs the motion of the moon and the planets. This marked a massive leap. The universe was no longer seen as a collection of scattered phenomena, but as an orderly machine that could be modeled and predicted. Alongside this, Newton also transformed mathematics by developing calculus in parallel with Leibniz, providing future scientists with a powerful new tool. From automotive engineering to space travel, all of it, really, rests on the principles Newton put into form. That is why he is regarded not only as a physicist, but as one of the main architects of today's technological world. Jesus Christ was born into a world shaped by 3 powerful forces: Jewish religious tradition, Roman political domination, and deep social tensions between different classes. Within this context, he presented a message centered on love of God and neighbor, forgiveness, humility, hope, and compassion for those on the margins of society. Historical and religious accounts differ on many details of his life, but they agree on one thing. His words and actions sparked a wave of hope and moral resistance against injustice and hypocrisy. After his death, his disciples and followers spread this message across different parts of the Roman Empire. In the centuries that followed, this movement led to the formation of the Church, Christian theology, and a wide range of worship traditions. Christianity gradually evolved from a small movement on the margins of the empire into a global religion intertwined with empires, art, philosophy, and culture. Even those who do not identify as Christian live in a world that has been largely shaped by his intellectual and cultural legacy. Gautama Buddha was a prince who grew up in relative comfort, but his encounters with suffering, illness, aging, and death led him to question everything. He chose to leave behind his princely life and seek answers to why humans suffer and whether liberation is possible. Years of asceticism, meditation, and searching eventually led to an experience that Buddhists call awakening or enlightenment. His teachings focus on the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path of right conduct, speech, and thought. These teachings gradually spread across India, Southeast Asia, China, and Japan, blending with local cultures. Even today, many psychological approaches and mindfulness practices are directly or indirectly inspired by Buddhist concepts. Confucius lived during a period in Chinese history marked by internal wars and the collapse of traditional order. In his teachings, respect for parents, loyalty, honesty, and properly fulfilling social roles were of central importance. These ideas became the core of China's educational and administrative system. For more than 2,000 years, access to power in China depended on mastery of Confucian texts. For this reason, the influence of Confucius remains clearly visible in East Asian culture to this day. Paul initially, as a man trained in the Jewish tradition, was a fierce opponent of the followers of Jesus. According to Christian accounts, during a journey to Damascus he experienced a powerful and transformative vision that completely changed the course of his life. After that, he undertook numerous journeys across the Roman Empire, from Asia Minor to Greece and Rome. He formed small communities of non-Jewish Christians and created a wide network of followers. The letters he wrote to these communities later became part of the New Testament and shaped the intellectual framework of Christianity. For this reason, many historians believe that global Christianity is, to a large extent, the Christianity that Paul explained and systematized. Before Kowloon, people used hard and expensive materials such as bones, animal skins, and bamboo to write. A transformation that later spread to the Islamic world and Europe, forming the foundation of humanity's written memory. If today we speak of books, notebooks, and the recording of knowledge, its roots trace back to the breakthrough that began with the work of Kowloon. In the centuries that followed, as paper-making technology spread to the Islamic world and then to Europe, its impact became truly global. If today we speak of books, newspapers, notebooks, and even paper packaging, the roots of this quiet and gradual revolution trace back to the breakthrough that began in China with the work of Kowloon. Paper became the primary medium of humanity's written memory, and without it, human civilization would have taken a very different form. Gutenberg lived at a time when book production was still a labor-intensive and highly limited process. Texts were copied by hand, often by religious scribes, and books were rare and expensive. But the consequences of his invention were not only religious. Scientific treatises, literary works, and political writings also became widely reproducible. Ideas began to circulate across Europe at an unprecedented speed, triggering an information explosion. An explosion that led to the Renaissance, the Reformation, the spread of literacy, and ultimately the scientific revolution. Many believe that without Gutenberg's printing press, this intellectual and scientific leap would either not have occurred at all, or would have unfolded far more slowly. Columbus lived at a time when Europeans were seeking new maritime routes to Asia. The trade in spices and luxury goods created a powerful incentive for exploratory voyages. With the idea that the East could be reached by sailing west, he set out across the Atlantic and in 1492 reached an unknown land. His voyages initiated sustained and large-scale contact between Europe and the Americas. A contact that led to consequences such as colonization, the spread of diseases, population displacement, and changes in the global economy. As a result of this process, the political and economic map of the world was transformed, and the modern global system began to take shape. Regardless of moral judgment, few doubt that Columbus marked one of the major turning points in world history. Einstein emerged at a time when classical physics was struggling to explain new phenomena. With the theory of special relativity, he showed that time and space are not absolute and that the speed of light is nature's ultimate limit. In general relativity, gravity was defined as the curvature of space-time. This new perspective transformed our understanding of the universe, black holes, and cosmic expansion. Even technologies like GPS would suffer serious errors without relativistic corrections. Einstein's image became a cultural symbol of genius in the 20th century. You know, the world we live in today is really the result of the decisions and ideas of just a small number of individuals. Each of them did something that, well, ensured the world would never be the same again. So, which important figure do you think is missing from this list? If a 10th or even an 11th name were to be added, who would you choose, and why? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments, both for me and for others who want to continue this discussion. If you enjoyed this kind of video, where we explore history, science, and human lives together, like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future episodes. In upcoming videos, we can explore other lists as well, such as the most influential women in history, or figures who transformed global culture and art. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Until the next video, take care and try, even on a small scale, to leave a positive impact on the world around you.